welcome to another episode of Weekly Football Chat. This week we'll be going over my picks for Week 14, and then also going into my picks for Week 15, and then I'm also going to give the playoff picture as of Week 14 and give the seven top teams of both the AFC and the NFC, which will actually be the wild card starting. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and do the scores of the first game, which was on Thursday. That was between the Raiders and the Rams, and I had picked the Raiders, but this time didn't quite happen that way. The Rams had something else different. They actually took the game 17-16. My next pick was between the Vikings and the Lions. I had picked the Lions last minute, and they ended up taking that game. So that was 34-23, the Detroit Lions. The next game, I picked. It was between the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I picked the Ravens on this one, and I did get a win off of that one. The Ravens beat the Steelers 16-14. The next game I had picked was from the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I picked the Bengals to win, and I was right on that one. The Bengals beat the Browns 23-10. Our next game was between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. I picked the Bills to win this one, and the Bills won. They beat the Jets 20-12. So the Bills ended up on top of that one. Now this one was a little tough because it was a pretty tough game. I would have almost lost this game, but it was between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, and uh, I picked the Cowboys, and they almost gave me a loss on this one, but they pulled it off. They won 27-23 off of a 98-yard offensive game with the Ezekiel like running in it. So that was good for them. That they can keep going, and of course, as time goes on, they're going to end up meeting the Eagles in a couple weeks. The next game, of course, was the Eagles and the Giants. I picked the Eagles to win, but I also said if the Giants won, it wouldn't make any difference to me. But the Eagles ended up pulling it. They did win. It wasn't a pull off. They came to play on this one. They won 48-22. So Jalen Hurts is really doing his best right now to keep up in the top spots. The next game I took the loss on between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. I had picked the Titans, and I lost that one. The Jaguars beat the Titans 36-22. Another game I thought was going to be a blowout, but ended up pretty close game. That it was between the Chiefs and the Broncos, and I picked this one correctly because I picked the Chiefs, but they narrowly missed it because they won 34-28. So the Broncos almost came back, but of course we also saw um, how Russell Wilson ended up going into concussion protocol because of that game. So hopefully everything goes okay with him. The next game, another loss for me. It was between the Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. That one, like I said, I took the loss. I picked the Seahawks. They lost to the Panthers, 30-24. So it wasn't not that much of a loss of a game. So they could have pulled it off, but I guess it was the time. The next game was a complete blowout and one that I lost as well. Was between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 49ers, and the 49ers took this one 35-7, and that was, I believe, Purdy's first game, and it just turned out to be he's playing the GOAT Tom Brady. They had the Bucks had one touchdown in the third quarter, I believe. Hopefully they turn it around. They still hold a spot in the playoffs, but only because their division doesn't have anyone close to them. So we'll see how things turn out. You never know with next week. The next game I did call right with the Miami Dolphins and the LA Chargers. I picked the Chargers to win, and they won 23-17. Two very good teams on the AFC side. Tua is playing very well with the Dolphins, and Herbert's doing very well with the Chargers. So these are pretty young teams that hopefully within the near future they'll be at the top of the AFC. The last game of last week was on Monday night, and I called this one wrong too. It was between the New England Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals to win. I was kind of siding with Kyler Murray to see how he was going to do, and of course, Kyler Murray ended up getting hurt, and that was not good for Arizona. They lost to New England 27-13. So we'll see how in the weeks. Now we have a lot of quarterbacks starting to go down. So let's see how everything goes with him. So now we're going to go into next week. We're going to well, with last week my statistic for week 13 was 72%. I forgot to give mention that. Well, I mentioned that last week, but this week I actually went lower. It was 62% correct, but still not bad. Hopefully this week I can do a lot better. So now we're going to go into week 15. The playoffs are getting closer and closer. This is where it starts getting. You start seeing the games a lot. They're getting a lot more better. So week 15, the first game, which is tonight, the 49ers and the Seahawks. It's also a division game, and also with the 49ers with the new quarterback because of Jimmy G being out. But for this one, I'm going to go with the 49ers. So we'll see how that goes. Saturday, we have a game. It's between the Colts and the Vikings. I'm still going to go with the Vikings. They still have a pretty good record, so I'm not going to go against them. So we'll go with the Vikings. Uh, another game on Saturday is the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. I'll go with the Ravens. I really don't see the Browns doing too much. It's been a few years since they have, but I'll go with the Ravens on that. That's also another. That's also a division game too. Then the next, also on Saturday, is the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. Although both in the same division, both doing very well, I'm still going to go with the Bills. Uh, I believe Josh Allen's doing very well, and he has a team to back him up. So we'll see how that plays out. If it goes the other way, hey, at least it's a good game. Hopefully, it's a good game. Uh, on Sunday, the Eagles will be playing the Chicago Bears. I'll go with the Eagles on that. Now, if they get upsetted, I mean that's just how it ends up going. You know, some teams like will do that, but I'll go with the Eagles on that one. The next game will be the Detroit Lions and the New York Jets. I'm gonna go with the Lions. I think they've been doing really well, and they may surprise some of us in the next few weeks. So I'm gonna go with the Lions. The next game is the Steelers versus the Panthers. And I'm gonna go with the Panthers on that. The Panthers have actually done pretty well, and Steelers are kind of going down a little bit. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers on that one. But again, I could be wrong. The next game is the Chiefs and the Texans. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, um, just because they seem to be a lot better. Uh, the next game on Sunday game would be the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. I'll go with the Falcons. Let's see how that goes. Also, on that noon slot of Sunday is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, hopefully, it goes good, but I'm going with the Cowboys. They can't do what they did last week and take Jacksonville lightly as they did the Texans and have to at the last minute try to score a touchdown. So hopefully it goes well, and it will go with the Cowboys. The next game is at the 3 o'clock time slot. The Cardinals and the Broncos. I'll go with the Broncos on that one. The next game at the 3 o'clock is the Patriots and the Raiders. I'm gonna go the Raiders. I know I've picked them. I picked them last week and they lost, but you just never know. They could pull it off. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders on that one. The next 3 o'clock slot is at the Tennessee Titans and the LA Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers. I do think that they have something going. So even though the Titans are a very veteran team, I think the Chargers can still take them. They have a defense and they have an offense, so it's on both sides. Um, this one's a little tough. You have the Bengals against the Buccaneers, and I know I have never in the last few 2 weeks. I haven't gone against the goat, but I'll go against him, and he may prove me wrong. So oh well, but I'm gonna pick the Bengals on this one. So if the goat, makes me lose, and oh well. But I'm gonna go with the Bengals on this one. They've been playing very well, and kind of want to see how it goes and see if they get themselves back into the play if they get to the playoffs in a good position. The next game is actually the Sunday night football. That's the Giants against the Commanders. Um, I'm gonna go with the Giants on that one. I just a pick. I'm not quite sure why. And then the Monday Night Football is the Rams versus the Packers, and I'm gonna go with the Rams on that one. I know everyone will say, you got to go with Aaron Rodgers, but not me. I'm gonna go with the Rams on that one. I think with Baker Mayfield, the last two games, he's actually shown something. So it kind of helps, especially with Matt Stafford being out. So those are my picks for Week 15. And like I said, I'm gonna go over the playoffs so far out of 14 going into 15. So on the AFC, the number one seed is the Buffalo Bills. The number two is the Kansas City Chiefs. The number three, the Baltimore Ravens. The number four, the Tennessee Titans. The number five, the Cincinnati Bengals. The number six, the Miami Dolphins. And the number seven is the New England Patriots. And the way it works is that the number one seed has the bye week now. I remember it used to be first two, but now it's just the number one. And then I think it's 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. So those are the teams right now. Pretty heavy in the AFC East right now. There's I think 3 teams in there from there. So that's the AFC side, and now we have the NFC side. We have the number one seed, which is the Philadelphia Eagles. The number two, the Minnesota Vikings. The number three, the San Francisco 49ers. The number four, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The number five, the Dallas Cowboys. The number six, the Washington Commanders. And the number seven is the New York Giants. So as we see now on the NFC side, last year the NFC East was actually kind of a joke. This year they're all in the playoffs. So there's only 3 spots that are taken by other parts of the NFC, but that's pretty crazy. AFC East and NFC East are dominating to get into the playoffs. So again, if the playoffs started next week, the Eagles would have the number one. Then you have 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. So if the playoffs were to start, tomorrow or tonight, I think we get like at least 6 good games out of it. So I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out in the end. So that'll do it for this week. Next week, we'll go over the Week 15 picks, go into Week 16, and then we'll go from there. And let's see where my percentage is on the winning. So if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to know when I put a video, just hit the bell button, and then you'll see when the video comes out. So until next week, y'all have a good one.